Three, two, one, and we're live. Wow. Uh, I desperately need to put some stuff up here and over here. Um, what's up, everybody? It's Tyler with Hooksets Are Free. Good evening. Happy Friday night to you. As you can see today, I got myself a little fresh cut Fridays going on. So I am streaming through the YouTube Studio app and not through StreamYard. So I'm not going to be able to highlight your comments. But what's up, Caro? What's up, Frank? How you doing tonight? I apologize. It looks so weird with stuff being missing, but I am currently in the middle of renovating my backdrop. I'm going to take down most of these soft plastics and update them with my current and all-time favorites so that we've got a little bit more to talk about in the way of soft plastics. And I might just update it on a slightly more regular basis. We'll have to see about that. But I'm pulling down the Z-Man stuff. I've already pulled down a vast majority of it, even though you can still see I've probably got another 30 bags or so sitting here. All these Rage Tails and Berkeley Havocs and 6 Sense baits, Reaction Innovations are going to come down. So just reorganizing, if you will. I appreciate you saying that reorganizing is cool, Carol, but it looks and feels weird having some empty space in the bait room right now, especially this one right here. I don't know why that looks extra weird to me right now. Took down some soft plastic swim baits. I think I had like my Jackal Rhythm Waves and a couple of other soft plastic swimmers that I took down and am reorganizing as well. So I've got an absolute mess in this bait room. I do have my monthly discount tackle package that came in the mail today. This being for the month of May 2023. I am like out of booze right now, so I am drinking a kind of last ditch effort just for the sake of drinking, because you guys know me to do that on stream. This is a cordial from 10th Mountain Distillery, which is a super cool place in Vail, Colorado, which you guys know is kind of my home away from home here in the mountains of Colorado. And yeah, this is a flavored booze. Ron Hawley actually reached out to me. Bassless Chap, as you guys know him. He reached out to me today asking my opinion on flavored whiskey. I said, I'm not a fan. In fact, my wife and I have had a bottle, which is this one, for almost a year now that we've just been kind of choking down when we've got nothing else to drink. But got a super cool label on here with some skis and poles and the mountains. But yeah, we tried this when we were already drunk on bourbon and other things and thought we liked it. Left with a bottle of it and came home and realized we don't like it. But since it's late at night, later than normal, I figured I would whip this out and drink for the sake of it tonight. So cheers, everybody, whether you're drinking or not. I know it's super late for the vast majority of you guys right now, but dessert in a glass. Not my normal style, but anyway, Adam Odin, Brendan Brown in the house. What's up, everybody? Adam says, I want to take this opportunity to publicly apologize to Tyler. Why is that, dude? Sorry you forgot to use my link on the last discount tackle order. No problem, dude. No worries. In fact, I think I forgot to use my own link when purchasing mine this month, if I'm not mistaken. I needed to check my stats, my affiliate stats. But yeah, I failed too. So you don't need to apologize. So thank you for doing so. But do try to remember, save my link. Daniel, do me a solid and drop in the comments right now my affiliate link. If you don't in the next 30 seconds or so, I will. I'll go out of my way to do so. But yeah, please do remember to use my link if you're going to shop at Discount Tackle. It doesn't help you out, but it helps me out a lot. And Discount Tackle likes to know that I'm doing my job in sending people their way. So this is a new sticker from Discount Tackle. Kind of unassuming, but still cool. I'm a fan. And then, yeah, just asking to write a review, so on and so forth. I spent pretty standard for me, $83 this month on this order, and it is a hodgepodge. Let's just say that. So I'm going to try to run through this pretty quickly for the sake of not taking up so much of your guys' time. But please be active in the comments. Let me know what you think of these baits as we go through them. I'll start with the more familiar bait that we've been talking about more recently, and that's the Megabass Sleeper Craw. I have 2 set aside in my giveaway box, which in part of reorganizing, I've actually put all of my giveaway stuff into a box. I'll show you just how big it's getting right now. And this is all unopened stuff. So we've got not as many soft plastics, but some of my favorite drop shot baits, the Kitech Easy Shakers, those Thunderhawk grenade baits, Zoom Beatdowns, and RoboWorm 4.5-inch Neds. I don't know why I put these in. Old Lake Fork ring fries. Told you guys I've got some Megabass mag drafts, the freestyle and the 5-inch regular to give away. The 2 sleeper craws. A pack of super cool soft plastic swim baits that I just never got around to using. These are the Venture Lures Bonneville swim baits. It's the 3.25-inch. Show you what these look like. They're pretty rad. Actually kind of reminds me of the Beast Coast. What are they called? Chaos X swim baits that were discontinued, but cool swim bait. Got those in there. As well as another old bait that I never really got around to using, and that's the Spool Tech Fatty with some replacement tails. This is a cool bait that the hook actually comes out the back. It's got a wire through design. Bottle of bait fuel, a Booyah Frog, 6 Sense Axis, and the 13 Fishing Jabberjaw. Couple of hybrid hunters. Thought I might throw in the Teckle duck roker that I bought earlier this year. Tokyo rig and some chatter baits. I've got, these are all unopened baits, and I've got a bunch of opened baits that I'm going to give away as kind of mixed bags. And then I've got this entire bag of brand new chatterbaits and some of my favorite chatterbait trailers to give away. But that's beside the point. So, Daniel, I didn't, dude. I've got all those to send out. I just haven't been. I leave the house very rarely, so that's a problem. Adam says, just laying on my hammock, planning the death of this bird that won't shut up. That's hilarious. All right. So, yes, Caro, I did get a new one, and this is actually just the green pumpkin color. So they call it Numa Ebby. And this one was sold out pretty quickly on most sites, and as they've been restocking, thought I would pick up 1 or 2 more. I ended up trimming it down to just that one as I was finalizing my cart. So let's see what other stuff we got in here. Some baits I don't have. So Missile Baits Chunky D. I do have the trailer of theirs, the mini D chunk, but the Chunky D I actually don't have any of, and not really for any particular reason. So I thought I would at least pick up one pack to just see what they're like and whether I'm likely to throw it. Okay, so this is actually a pretty small bait. I think it's like 3.5 inches, but I like the fact that the texture is different on the bottom, a little bit more water displacement, and then the top is, a little bit more solid to hold your hook. But this is a relatively versatile bait that I think is meant to be more of a full-size jig trailer as opposed to a chunk, but also could be thrown on, a wide variety of applications on a smaller EWG style hook, anywhere 1/0 or 2/0. I don't even know if you could fit a 3/0 hook in that, but standard green pumpkin color. That way I know I'll throw it. And yeah, I'll say I'm pretty impressed. Not mad that I got it. Just need to remind myself to use it. So let me tell you, obviously that the sleeper craw is not discounted at all. Those retail for $9.99, but this Chunky D I got for $5.18. I don't know. I think they retail at $5.99. So anyway, pretty good looking bait. I'll say that. If any of the reorganizing should have taught me something, it should be that I don't need more soft plastics, but I definitely didn't learn my lesson this month with that. So let's see what we're doing here. So I've talked about this bait before. This is the River to Sea D Walker. Really underrated, not talked about very enough, or very frequently, not talked about enough swim bait. And this is the Rig Walker. So really designed more to be, oh, I hate that they're going to make me rip it. Whatever, I don't care. Meant to be more of an Alabama rig bait, but also doubles as just a solid pre-rigged standalone swim bait. So I'm curious about it. This is a color they call Table Rock Shad, I believe. Debo would love it. Chartreuse and purple. Baitman would love it. Comes with a little hook guard on there. Let's see what the hook is actually like. If I can get this dang thing off of there. Wow. It's on there pretty well. There we go. All right, so here's the bait. Pretty beefy hook in there, molded into the bait, and then it's also got a bottom hanger so that you could put a treble hook into the bottom if you'd like, or a trailer style blade and rig it as an underspin or what have you. But what makes these rig walkers and D walkers cool is the action that they have. I don't know if it's the shape or the tail or what, but these things have a ton of up and down wagging action as they swim. So not a sideways head wag, but kind of a wiggle through the water, and it's very unique. So a little bit more aggressive of an action, but definitely a time and a place where that can be appealing and potentially get a bite that other swim baits won't. So That 3-pack of rig walkers in the 120 size goes for $7.49. So really not a bad deal. But let me see what I've missed in the way of comments, because I apologize. Dave Jolly's going fishing tomorrow. Sweet, dude. Glad that somebody is coming to pick you up. Daniel says he's used the Chunky D a little bit. Ryan Dyke in the house. What's up, Ryan? How you doing? Glad to see 11 people in here right now. Late night action, midnight on the East Coast. If you haven't already, hit the thumbs up button for me. Sorry that my bait room looks a little wonky, because it is right now. But next time I'm on, it should look pretty sweet and refreshed. It will look totally different behind me. So stay tuned for that. Dave Jolly says, Gantarelle, Jackhammer, Slide Swimmer 175, and the 115. Is that what you're throwing tomorrow? Going hard on the swim baits, huh? Got to have the Jackhammer just in case the fish aren't eating the swim baits. So I hear you. And a green pumpkin Senko in case you get desperate. For me, the Jackhammer is when I get desperate. But yeah, I hear you. Daniel says the Chunky D is a good bait. You would use in place of like the Menace Grub. Yeah, fair enough. Seems like it probably has a little bit more aggressive action than the Menace Grub. Probably more along the lines of like a Rage Bug. But I will keep you guys posted on what I think of that bait. It's definitely a smaller size, in between, like, yeah, maybe it's more like that mid-size Rage Bug, which I haven't tried yet. I've really only used the standard Rage Bug. You guys know by now that the chameleon color in the standard Rage Bug is one of my all-time favorite baits. But yeah, it seems a little bit more like that, and the Reaction Innovations Spicy Beaver more than anything. Tom Mix in the house. How you doing, Tom? Good to see you. Brendan says the D-Walkers are great on a swim jig. Agreed. Yep, absolutely. In fact, I've got one rigged up on an evergreen grass ripper, ready to rock. I don't know if it's down here or upstairs, but yep. Yeah, Daniel. I thought I was going to get myself hurt trying to remove that hook guard as well. So Brendan says the plastic density is what it does, or what does the trick with those rig walkers. Interesting. All right. Brendan says, is the mid-size Rage Bug in between the regular and the Magnum, or the regular and the? I think it's between the baby and the regular. It's more of like a 3.5-inch size. Frank, thanks to Danny Boy and Adam Oden, I'll be able to try a cross-eyes chatterbait for the first time today. Nice. Sweet. That sounds awesome. Today for you, tomorrow for me. Yep, that is a good point. So while we're on the point of soft plastic swim baits, I did get a pack of the Storm Largo Shad in the newest size, which is the 3.5-inch. This bait has come in a 3-inch, a 4-inch, maybe even a 5-inch up until this past year. At ICAST, they released the 3.5-inch size. So I've told you guys numerous times that a 3.5-inch size for me is just a much more go-getter than a 3-inch size. I much prefer a 3.5-inch size. So I really learned that with the Kitech 3.3 over the 2.8, like significant difference. So I am excited to use this 3.5-inch over the 3-inch size, which I do have a few packs of. And this straight chartreuse color, I've got a couple of chatterbaits and swim jigs specifically that I want to throw this on to target smallies. So, yeah, that is the plan. So yeah, newest size in the Largo shad. That is also a relatively underrated yet successful soft plastic swimmer. And now I think we're getting into some newer stuff for me. Got a bunch of randos in here. So let's go with the new X Zone Stealth Invader. This is a Goby imitator, and it's small. Whoa. So they say drop shot Ned rig swim bait. I gotta say, this is smaller than I thought it was going to be. Just a cute little baby guy. Definitely smaller than I thought it would be, but I'm not necessarily mad about it. I just don't know where I'm going to throw this over any other drop shot bait necessarily. You know, it has the Goby profile, but really I see this as a nose hook drop shot bait that could be swum a little bit more effectively, although it's got that upside down paddle tail on it. So interesting. The Stealth Invader, you know, definitely looks cooler and more realistic in photos than it does in person. Not to say that it doesn't look realistic in person, but a little bit underwhelmingly small. So I don't know. This is part of why I do this though, guys, is to be able to see things for myself and then show them to you sometimes before you try it out. So let me know, have you guys already purchased and or tried this new Stealth Invader from X Zone or no? And were you planning on it or no? Because it looks cool, but I would say it looks cooler in pictures than it does in real life. I don't even know how excited I am on the whole for this bait. But packaging is decent, perhaps a little bit bigger than necessary. I'll say that. We got Matt in the house. How you doing, Matt? Good to see you. Did I see Riley was in here earlier? Riley, if you're still in here, say something. Wow, Daniel, the ultimate moderator, is dropping links to each and every one of these baits. So whether you're watching live or on the replay and you're interested in any of these baits, feel free to click the link, add it to your cart, and purchase. Okay. Perhaps what I'm most excited about in this unboxing is the Yamamoto Yamatanuki. All right. Also a new bait on the market, but it's been getting a lot of attention this year in particular. I don't know what kind of weird joke to make about this, but look at that Squidward nose on top. Really funky looking bait. Now, it does have a hook slot on top and on bottom. So your hook is going to rest in there. This is a lot like the cover scat, the heavy poop, all of these high density, super thick and small profile baits. This nub on the top is super strange. But this is a very heavy bait. Weighs like 5/8 of an ounce by itself, is meant to take a big old like 5/0 or even 6/0 hook. And I'm curious to try it. So this is a very natural color. And what do they call it? Mimizu. So just a natural purplish. And then I got a much cooler color called brown purple laminate that looks pretty wicked. Got a lot of flake in there. Don't know how well you can see that. The photos of it might do it a little bit more justice. That angle is pretty decent for you to be able to see the color. Almost like a morning dawn type of color, but very cool. And so this bait is going to get some use from me sooner than later just because I'm curious to try it. Have any of you guys tried the Yamatanuki just yet? Adam says, so you T-rig and that? What are you talking about? The Yamatanuki? Yes. It is a weightless Texas rig bait. All right. So all of these baits are kind of the new Senko, if you will. Much more castable, meant to be thrown on casting gear, on a bait caster with a large, heavy wire EWG style hook. And it has its own action on the fall and then is supposed to be relatively intriguing when twitched. This bait with that little tail does its own thing when buried into the grass. I don't know. Honestly, I'll keep you posted on where I see it performing best, but falls into the same category as like the Depths cover scat and even, the Gay Crack Bellows gill, right? Those two baits really opened my eyes the last couple of years into, these very strange looking baits that are super effective. So Brendan says, looks dumb, throw a chigger craw, LOL. Yeah, sounds like what was said earlier tonight on some of those streams or on Hellabass's stream. All these non-believers in JDM stuff, comparing them to just total apples and oranges, right? The Yamatanuki is nothing like a chigger craw, and that's a hilarious comment. I assume you were joking, Brendan, because if you weren't, you're just as dumb as those people from earlier tonight. For frame of reference, if you weren't on the Hellabass stream, people were talking about the OSP Doe Live Beaver being a copy of the Missile Baits D-Bomb, which is just mind-blowing because, first of all, they don't even look alike, let alone have any bit of a similar type of action. Okay? I mean, so silly. Not the same bait whatsoever. Just because they're beaver baits, if you will, doesn't mean that they're related, let alone in the same category. So, hilarious. As I was saying, the Doe Live Beaver has its own joint in the middle and has a sort of kicking, as one guy said, a dolphin style action. And the D-Bomb is meant to be a flip and pitch and punching bait, right? A beaver style bait, if you will. But the Doe Live Beaver is meant to be a free rig and very, very different. So, yeah, Yamatanuki. It is a weightless Texas rig bait. All right, Adam? You wonder if the plastic is better than the Senkos. I don't know what you mean by better. I assume the formula is similar, but this is a heavy weighted plastic. So probably a similar formula. I don't anticipate that it's going to have like the most tremendous durability, but it'll probably be similar to what you get in other JDM baits. But this is not nearly as expensive. So you do get 8 in a pack here, and there's $7.19 on discount tackles. So really not too bad. All right. You're paying $1 per bait, not like $2 per bait like you ordinarily would. Now, I think we're getting down to some weirder stuff here. So one-off bait. This was on clearance. Just a popper that I am a fan of. This is the KVD Splash Junior size in the Black Lab color. This is a color that I don't have in this bait. I have a lot of colors. Well, maybe only a few in this specific bait, but this is a solid junior size popper. Comes with good hardware straight out of the pack. Solid treble feather on there. And this color is just pretty cool. Black with a bunch of different colored flake in there. So, yeah, green, gold, purple, and silver. High pitch rattle. This is a good blooping style popper. And what can you say? It was a good deal, so I picked it up. It was on clearance for $6.44. I want to say it retails for right at $10. Oh, did you guys just get hit with an ad? Interesting. Maybe it's the way that I am streaming through YouTube Studio instead of through StreamYard. That's weird. Sorry if some of you or most of you did just get an advertisement right now. Hope you didn't miss any part of the stream or are lagging at this point. Very weird. So did you all see me opening and talking about the KVD Splash Junior? $6.44. That's the only thing that you would have missed. Now, before we get into some junior plastics, what? Weird. I did get a zip bag. This from Spro. A mesh bait pouch. These were on sale as well, so I think that's how I stumbled across them. I have no idea whether this is going to be legit or not, but I have one of these from 6 Cents that I end up using more than I thought I would. You know, this one's a little bit bigger, but I can pack like, I don't know, 15 or 20 bags of soft plastics in here, along with some terminal tackle. And sometimes that's just useful to be able to pack everything in a bag within my backpack. So this guy here, the idea that I had for it, because it looks to be a little bit heavier duty, is that this will just be my catch-all bag. You guys know that I bank fish more than anything. I'm going to take this keychain off of there, but what ends up happening is as I change baits, I don't always immediately throw that bait that I just was fishing. I don't always put it back in one of my Flambeau or Plano boxes when it's wet. I don't want the hooks rusting or messing with the other baits that are in there. So I will often just toss them into a different pocket of my backpack. And then guess what? It gets hung in the mesh or whatever, section of the backpack that it's in. And then I find myself removing treble hooks and destroying portions of my backpack. So something like this for when I cut a bait off, I'm just going to toss it in here. So at the end of my fishing trip, I'll end up with a hodgepodge of like 10 or 20 random baits sitting in here. Or just as well, I could do the opposite. And instead of packing a unique 36 or 3700 size box with baits, I could just grab and go before I go fishing and throw them into a bag like this before I head out. So yeah, this is a little bit more heavy duty. The treble hooks are not going to stick into this material. And for $5, I thought it was worth it. The cordial's going down smooth. Yeah, I can't say it's the most delicious. Nor do I know what the proofage is on it. It's got to be weak. But you're definitely not going to see me get inebriated on this stuff because I don't like the flavor of it enough, and I'm not going to be streaming long enough for that to happen. But got a handful of rando stuff here at the bottom of this package. Don't know why I got all of it. First item, I do know why I got it, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do with it. So, a little bit random, but the Big Bite Baits BBJ Elite heads. What did I pay for these guys? $3 and nope. Yeah, $3.99 for a pack of 6 of them. So pretty good deal. They make this with a swivel and then not. So this is not with the swivel. This is a 1/4 ounce with like a, I don't know, size 2 or a not a giant hook on there. Relatively small, but I got it specifically to pair onto this Storm Largo shad. So it almost looks like it's going to be too small of a hook, but we're going to rig it up and see how she pairs up. Oh yeah, it looks pretty small. Yep, that's going to be a little too small. Not enough bite on there. So that's going to be really better for like a 2.5 to 3-inch bait, not a 3.5-inch bait. So a little bit unfortunate because I thought that pairing was going to be great, but size wise, I definitely got that a little bit wrong. This is more of like a Ned rig sized hook, even though it's a 1/4 ounce jig head, and that's my preferred weight on a 3.5-inch swim bait. So whoops-a-daisies. So many baits in clamshells tonight. They're all starting to slide around and off of the table. Oh well, so I'm not mad that I got this pack of jig heads, but I'm just going to have to repurpose them and throw it on a slightly different bait than what I had envisioned. Now, I would imagine on something like this, this is the Strike King or the Savage Gear Ned Minnow. It'll work well on that. I'm not a huge fan of this soft plastic to start out with, but just so that we can see how it pairs up with a 3-inch bait in comparison, you'll see that it's a much more appropriate fit. Yeah, I even over rigged it, but That bothers me. That's a beauty. Nice pairing. Much more appropriate. So that needs to go on a 3-inch swim bait. Well, what can you do? Oh, well. Ugh. I need ice in that. That tastes much worse straight out of the bottle. God awful. Brendan says good night. Yeah, we're going to talk about some small baits. So, yeah, I'm not surprised you're getting out of here. Check out this little cutie. Designed by Al Lindner. This is the Lindner Panfish Special by Big Bite Baits. 5 in a pack for $3.29. It's a 1.5-inch bait. Meant to be fished like under a float, I think. This is a hybrid style bait that has a marabou tail and a soft plastic body. It's interesting. They make it in some different color combos, and that's cute. I could see myself throwing that for sure. I can't say I'm stoked about the hook that's in it, but I definitely like the design of the bait. So this is going to go in my little stash of panfish stuff, some of which is sitting in this bag right now. Some other marabou jigs and downsized soft plastics. But I definitely was thinking of some of that stuff in this order while we're at it. And Big Bite Baits. Check out this little dude. This is the Bug Series Hopper. Adam Odin, pay attention. Do you throw soft plastic bugs? Yay or nay? This is definitely a lot more chartreuse than it looks in pictures, but this color is black / opaque chartreuse. Not very opaque. This is fairly bright chartreuse. So check out this dude. I'm not sure how well I'm going to be able to show you, but this bait has a lot going on. So it's got 2 antennae at the top, and then I'll try and hold this by the head. It's got legs along the sides. It's got like a almost like a brush hog style with 2 kickers, and then almost like a trout magnet, crappie magnet style 2 tails on here. So definitely seems like there's a lot you could do with it to customize it, or just fish it straight out of the pack. And this will go on just a baby little jig head and have a tremendous amount of action in the water. So looks really cool. And they're dirt cheap. So yeah, I gotta say, I liked the look of this when I saw it, and I like the look of it as much or perhaps more now that I see it in person. And these are dirt cheap, right? Did I mention that? $1.99 for a pack of 10 of them. So I got 2 packs. The other is in Fire Tiger Swirl. As I said, the first color was black / opaque chartreuse. And this is the Fire Tiger Swirl. Again, that's the Bug Series Hopper. You can see the color on this dude, kind of like an Okeechobee craw mixed with an Alabama craw. Got a lot of different colors going on here. So very interesting. Here's a bait that I have one pack of already, but liked so much, especially in this bigger size, that or maybe I don't have it in the biggest size. I've got it sitting close by. I see it here. So if you don't know Ethan from Mule Fishing, fellow Discount Tackle brand ambassador, you ought to check out Mule Fishing. He's got some really cool baits. He's been releasing like 1 or 2 baits every year, and the portfolio is getting quite nice, rounding out. So originally I only had this 2.2 inch size, which is good, but I thought I would pick up the larger, the 3.2 inch size, which I think will perhaps target a wider variety of species of fish. Could make a good drop shot bait for bass. But this color here is called cowpoke. And it's like an orange and chartreuse color. You can see this is a very flat bait. And I like it. Let me show you what it looks like on, a standard Ned head. This is actually probably a little bit too big with that Ned Locks keeper on there, but let's just see how it fits. I'm going to rig this wrong because it's such a small, such a skinny bait. So thin. Not the worst rigging. It will work. Size-wise, it's not bad. I'd throw this on a lighter hook and a lighter jig head than on this. And as I said, I think it's probably going to perform a little bit better on a drop shot with its flat profile. But with how long this bait is and the fact that it's made from an Elastec material, I think it could perform really well on a Ned rig as well. So just probably a lighter weight and smaller hook. The Ned Locks is like their heavy duty hook. Might have some other Ned rig hooks handy on me, but anyway, that is the Mule Minnow in the 3.2. These are a good deal as well. I want to say they're like $5 a pack. $5.49. They've gone up a little bit in price. But you get 8 in a pack, and they are pretty versatile. You do get a little bit of a split tail design here on the end. And then a little bit of some ribbing for more tail action in the back half. Ethan mentions that you can cut the nose of this thing off if you want a little bit more of a flush profile. So that pulls off of there easy or cuts off. And then I think makes it just look a little bit nicer as a drop shot bait, but pretty rad. So thought I would support Ethan and try out the largest size in that bait, the Mule Minnow. So that is more of a multi-species bait, but bordering on a bass bait. And then I've got just 2 more things in here. One is a soft plastic and one is a hook. All right. We'll go with the soft plastic first. This is the Z-Man split tail grub. Of course, I'm pulling all of my Z-Man baits down, or the vast majority of them, especially in the oddball baits that I don't use as frequently. But I gotta say, this is one that that I do like and is surprisingly versatile. So this bait is really a chatterbait and or spinnerbait trailer more than anything. So split tail design. And, you know, if you remember, some of the old chatterbaits used to come with one of these in the package. Daniel, you're right. It's 10 in a pack of the 2.2, 8 in a pack of the 3.2 of that mule minnow. I did not make that clear. 10 versus 8. So the Z-Man split tail grub, also made from Elastec. The vast majority of it are these thin legs that are going to give you a ton of action when trailing behind something else. However, this body is just thick enough and just long enough to be able to rig in a variety of different ways. So honestly, when I saw this, my first instinct was, I want to try that thing on a Ned rig. Straight up. Like, look at how well that body sits flush to a standard Ned rig head. And this is, again, that Ned locks with the HD heavy duty hook and that big bait keeper. And it sits just perfectly flush on there. And you're going to get all of the action of the tail. I think that is going to be a sleeper Ned rig style bait. You guys have heard me talk about the finesse shads from Z-Man as a bait that I love in a number of different applications, but mostly as a drop shot bait. And so I saw this guy and thought, that could be a very interesting Ned rig bait with these long skinny tails. So decided to get one pack of those puppies in a standard green pumpkin. It's a 4-inch bait, comes 10 to a pack. So I love how efficient they are with the packaging here. Pretty small little package. You know, when you compare it to another pack of soft plastics, see just how small it is and how efficiently it's packed in there. So those Z-Man split tail grubs, $2.97. So I guess I stumbled into those as well as a few of the other baits when I was just perusing the clearance section at Discount Tackle, and that's why I picked them up. Really good price. Matt, you're right. The old school Zoom spinnerbait trailer. Yep. Lure Lab Mojo Rig says hello. You're right, dude. Russ Dennis in the house. What's up? Dave getting out of here. Have a great rest of your night and good luck on the water tomorrow, dude. Hope you catch them. Last item in the package is the BKK Silent Chaser Weedless Ned Head. Okay. Why did I get these? I don't quite know. Do I have enough weedless Ned heads? I think so. You know, I've got some of the owners. I've got the owners. I've got the lifted jigs. This is kind of the original, right? The lifted jigs, Ned EWG. I don't think they make these or sell them anymore, but it was such a successful jig head on the market that then everybody else had to make their own, right? And so, the owner blockhead was kind of the upgraded version of that. Z-Man makes one as well. Owner has a football head. And of course, BKK's got one as well. So this is a round ball style jig head. A little bit more refined. You can see that they stamp the weight right on there, as well as the size of the hook. That is pretty unique, I gotta say. Screw it. I'm gonna open these puppies just to show you guys up close because it's a nifty touch, I gotta say. It's not every day. In fact, let's just say, I think we all frequently do not remember the weight or the size of the hook that we're using on something so subtle like a Ned head. So you just look at this, you don't know exactly what that is. Is that an 1/8 ounce? Is that a 3/16? Or is it a 1/16? I don't know. Is that a 1/0 hook? What is that? Well, guess what? It's a 2/0 hook, and it's a 3/32. Oh, let's see if we can show you. The glare. 2/0, 3/32. Now, this is a lead head, I'm fairly certain. So I would imagine that if you're grinding this a lot, it is going to wear down. But when you first pull them out of the package or out of your box of jig heads, you'll be able to see straight up what it is from the get-go. So that is rad. Definitely not mad about it. And I could see it being a good sized jig head to throw with something like this dude. Or with this dude. A wide variety of smaller size soft plastics. Now, this looks to me like a 1/0 hook with just a longer shank there. I mean, that's wild. I don't know if this is actually a 2/0 hook, but in terms of the size bait that you would throw it on, there you go. So very odd hook if you think about that weight not being molded onto there. Very long. Huh. But as you know, BKK makes some of the sharpest hooks out there. Dang it. My battery is low. I've got 10% battery. I'm going to try and reduce my screen's brightness and see if we can stretch this a little bit. But otherwise, we've been on for almost an hour. It is 11 o'clock my time, 1 o'clock East Coast. So I've never streamed with low battery on here. Let me see. Something just popped up saying that ads were going to pop up for you guys in a minute. I just hit skip. I guess I didn't see that last time. So hopefully you guys don't get another ad in about 40 seconds from now. But if you do, let me know. You guys know my preference is to stream through StreamYard. That way I can highlight your comments and be a little bit more interactive. But since this was so impromptu and last minute, I wasn't going to do that tonight. So sorry about it. It's god awful. Unless you like dessert booze, I can't say I would recommend this. The 10th Mountain Distillery does make some really good bourbon and whiskey in general, but cordial, not my thing. Not my thing. Matt says the angle of the line tie looks different on this. Yeah, it's a little bit more like what you get with the Owner Ultra heads, where it's not a 90-degree line tie. So the blockhead does have that 90-degree, right? Straight up on top of the head. But the football head, the ultra head football finesse, you get that more 60 or 45 degree line tie. So yeah, the BKK Silent Chaser head is a little bit more like that. It's more of a 60 degree, if you will. But definitely interesting. Good observation there, Matt. Probably allows it to come over cover along the bottom a little bit more effectively if you're dragging or hopping the bait. But yeah, I don't know. Good point. And yes, this Silent Chaser is a round ball, unlike that Ultra Head Finesse football from Owner. So just an observation. Daniel says, WTF, there's 28 sizes of those hooks. Well, don't ask me exactly how I decided to get this specific one. 3/30 seconds is just a little bit more than 1/16th, right? It's in between 1/16th and 1/8. And for me, that is kind of the ideal weight for throwing a Ned rig style presentation. But a 2/0 hook is a little bit less conventional, slightly larger hook than what you'd find in most Ned rig heads. So let's see, for example, in this dude. Wow, that is like just barely too big. Let's see if I am kind of conservative in how I rig this. Can I make it work? And I apologize if you're hearing that notification go off on my phone. Take a look at that split tail trailer. It comes right up, right through there. I think this would be a little bit long of a hook to throw on, a standard finesse TRD, but would be much more appropriate on something like the Z-Man hula sticks, for example. I think I might have a pack of those puppies in this bag. Let's see. Crappie baits. Well, we got the finesse shad sitting in here. Yes, we do have a pack of hula sticks. All right, so the hula sticks is a 4-inch bait. And guys, if my battery dies, it is the end of the night for us. So I do apologize. I'm going to check my battery in just a second to see how we're doing. So I'm going to rig this through the bait a little bit further because of that neck on there. Oh, baby. Yeah, that's going to be a nice fit. I mean, not a perfect rigging job by any means, but take a look at that. Much more appropriately sized on a 4-inch bait. That is going to work. Okay. So we could goof around rigging a bunch of different baits on this head, but do we need to right now? No. Am I going to? Maybe. Here's a Zoom 4-inch lizard that we were goofing around, ripping appendages off on a stream like a month ago because Adam Myhera said to. He said he uses it as a chatterbait trailer. And check that puppy out. That's great. Excellent little rigging. Anyway, not mad about that or really any of the stuff I got tonight, but it is super random what I decided to get. So sometimes it goes like that when shopping at Discount Tackle. Let's see what we're working with. 8% battery. We're still kind of hanging in there. Did you guys get hit with an advertisement a minute ago or no? Are we good? Oh, Daniel. Dude, it's the BKK Silent Chaser. BKK Silent Chaser 1X EWG round head hook. Now, Daniel did a fantastic job this evening. Let's all give him a round of applause for including the links there. $4.99 a pack for 4. Not a bad deal for a premium hook. But Daniel, thank you for providing the links live during the stream. I will try to do so in the description of the video. If you're watching back on the replay and are interested in checking out any of the products that I opened tonight, I will leave the links. Most of them are or were discounted at the time of me purchasing them. So keep that in mind. And if you're interested in saving some dough, which I think we all are, keep Discount Tackle in mind. And don't forget to use my link, Adam Odin or Tyler Long, when shopping at Discount Tackle. All right. Do appreciate the support. Caro says it was fun to see different stuff. Yeah, pretty random tonight, huh? That might have been one of the winners of tonight. This little Big Bite Baits Bug Series Hopper. Pretty wicked. This guy, also not bad. The Lindner Panfish Special from Big Bite Baits. And, if you weren't already familiar with the mule fishing mule minnow, you are now. I'm excited to just try this new size of the Largo shad. Not as jazzed about this dude. Pretty excited about the Rig Walker from River to Sea. Definitely most excited to try out the Yamatanuki from Yamamoto, strictly because it's a new bait and a certain style bait that I have developed some blind confidence in. And so I will keep you posted on how that bait in particular performs. But also, I'll keep you posted on, the sleeper craw as I use it more. I've only thrown it once and just was not the right conditions, but my fish are going to be on beds in the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to be throwing that bait on them as one of probably a dozen different baits. And we can talk about that in perhaps my next or one of my upcoming live streams, is just what my go-to bed fishing baits are going to be this season, or at least what I plan for them to be. That cordial is so bad. I'm glad that I brought a glass of water down here. Daniel did link the EWG round anyway as well. Okay, no problem. Matt says, Tyler, I think you really need to try those DRT cramp shads. They're extremely heavy. I got some and was extremely impressed on how dense they are, how stable they are being used on weightless hooks. Okay. Now, how do you fish it? Isn't it a swim bait? Cramp shad is a swim bait, right? And the VTS is a fluke style bait. So I'm definitely going to be fishing the VTS some here in the next week or two as I fish a fluke a little bit more. But the fat cramp shads, okay. Yeah, you're right, man. 13 Fishing has been having some crazy sales. I don't know if their soft plastics just haven't been selling, but yeah, you guys saw me stock up big time, late last year or early this year and pick up a ton of their stuff. Because if you look on Discount Tackle in their clearance section, yeah, a bunch of those are on sale for like $199 right now. So you're right about that. No, Matt, I have definitely not ever had a carp hit my top water bait. I especially eat a top water bait of mine. I've had them blow up near my baits, but I don't think it was with the intent to eat my baits. You lost your new Adusta crawler yesterday to a giant carp. That's ridiculous, dude. That sucks. Adam said he had a bowfin hit a top water, but managed to catch him. Dead sticking a drop shot on beds is hard for bass to ignore. You're absolutely right. And I've just learned that it helps to use a bait that has a proper neutral buoyancy for that right type of action, which is definitely why I picked up an extra pack or two of the newer net bait / set the hook crush worm. That is definitely one drop shot bait that has impressed me more than others in recent history. Oh. This guy right here. That is specifically going to be a bed fishing bait. A white drop shot bait that is perfectly neutrally buoyant. That's the deal. The Zoom beatdown on a wacky rig, on a drop shot. Killer. Some of the Savage gear, like the Ned Salamander last year was wicked for me on beds. Daniel's right. Bunch of Savage gear stuff, specifically the 3D craws were on sale. Like big time, down to $2.99 a pack. I picked a couple of those up, I think last month or 2 months ago, in some giant sizes, the 4 and 5 inch sizes. Really good deals. Adam says, you eventually need to get the Pompadour Micro for your BFS setup. Interesting. Yeah, that I don't really have any micro crawler style baits, I don't think. Um, but thank you for the recommendation. I might try that. Yeah, Matt, that is unfortunate to hear, dude. That's brutal. I don't know what I would have done. Because what, that Adusta is like $40 or something, isn't it? That sucks. Yeah. Wacky rig drop shot is underrated and killer. Not as much of a dead stick presentation. Oh, too bad Brendan's not in here. I did just spot the D Walker from River to Sea on the Evergreen Grass Ripper. Yeah. This swim jig is going to get some use. That pairing, that size is just perfect. I don't think I've even trimmed the skirt down, nor will I. Grass Ripper is going to be my go-to swim jig this season. Oh, you got the Adusta for $17.99. Nice. Sounds like a good deal. So not the worst that you lost an $18 bait to a carp, but still don't want to be losing any baits to a carp, right? All right, guys, I fear that my battery is going to die, and that's not how I want to end the stream. We're at 5% right now, and I don't know if it's starting to get choppy for you guys or not, but I'm going to down this and hopefully not choke, and wish you guys a great rest of your night. It is possible that I will be back on tomorrow night, and maybe we'll talk about bed fishing at that point. But I definitely need to do some organizing in the bait room, put up some cooler baits to have more relevant conversations moving forward. And just to organize a little bit better, I'm going to compile a bunch of the already opened, but really no signs of wear and tear hard baits that I'm going to give away. Perhaps some chatter baits or otherwise, but mostly hard baits, and maybe some of my hand tied jigs, things like that, that I'm also going to give away and throw those in the giveaway pile. And we're going to start doing giveaways on a regular basis moving forward throughout the summer. So hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. I appreciate it. You guys are cool. I appreciate the support, the friendship, all of that. So have a great weekend if I don't see you again, but hopefully I do see you tomorrow night. Peace out, guys.